Good morning. I'm Katie Smith, and every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern, I come to you to share some amazing, inspiring, encouraging, hope-filled information from my life to yours. So I'm a former homeschooling mom. My kids have since graduated. I'm a former nonprofit worker. I've worked at San Diego State University, and I've had my own coaching practice for the last year, helping you to increase your health, your wealth, your faith, and your love. And right now, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update because I just completed my seventh liver flush. Seventh liver flush. So if you don't know your liver, let me just tell you a little bit about it. It's an organ below, let's see. So your heart is on the right side, then your liver is on this side, but low, like central abdomen. So if you don't know your liver, I want to really encourage you to get to know your liver because it is an amazing organ. I am so shocked. So what happened to us is a family member, a young family member, had a crisis, a health crisis, and they ended up going to not one, not two, but 3 ERs for the pain. They said it was the worst pain they've ever been in, and we since know exactly what it was. It was a gallbladder attack. Are you kidding me? A gallbladder attack? And the solution that everyone said, now this is going to be controversial, but the solution that everyone said was get your gallbladder removed. Well, this young person is just tenacious. And they're like, I don't want to have my gallbladder removed. So he started doing research. And long story short, now we are huge fans of this book. It has completely reoriented how I think about the body and how amazing I think the body is. So this is not a one and done practice. If you've looked into flushes and you're like, oh yeah, I did that once. No, no, no. This is, you have to keep doing it over and over again, which is why I've done it 7 times. So the reason I started doing a liver flush wasn't because I had any symptoms, because I didn't have any symptoms except for I didn't feel like I could execute as fast as I wanted to in making decisions and getting things done. Like I love being an action taker. And so I was like, what is going on with me? This was like May of 2020. So we're now in January, late January of 2021. And my family member said, you need to try this because the liver is responsible for over 500 functions in the body. And I was like, come on. And I even went to my doctor and I was like, have you heard of liver flushes? Do you know what this is? And he's like, no, I don't know anything about it. I was like, do you know what the liver does? And he's like, no, not really. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I went on my favorite research site. Of course, there's never anything false on this site. Can you guess which one it is? It's Wikipedia. So I went on Wikipedia and I looked up the liver, and sure enough, there are 500 functions. If you look up the liver right now, this is so amazing. There's a whole map. Let me see if I can do it real quick for you because I am in love with the liver. I am. I just think it's amazing. And I'm like, why didn't I ever know about this? So let me just, oh, this is great. So let me find the key picture that shows all the bile ducts. Yep, I'm looking for the bile duct picture. Where is it? Where is it? They took it down? Are you kidding me? It's not even on the wiki. That's crazy. All right, well, it is responsible for 500 functions, and it does say that on Wiki. Let me find a better picture. I can't believe they don't show you. Liver bile ducts. I'm wikiing right now. Oh yeah, here's a great picture. All right, right there. Yep, that's the one I want to show you. Okay, let me show you this. You're not going to believe this. I can't believe nobody talks about this. Let's do share screen. Okay, good. Share entire screen. Yep. Okay, give me just a sec. Give me just a sec. I want to show you this. Where's the picture? Here it is. All right, so do you see this picture on the screen? You might need to blow it up. Right here, all of these, this is inside a bile duct. There can be little tiny stones. There can be great big stones. There can be all kinds of stuff, but all these are meant to push through toxins. And they get clogged up with an overload of toxins. And these come from sugar. They come from stress, because stress affects the chemicals that are produced in your body. And they come from sugar, stress, processed foods of any kind. Basically, if you're alive, you probably have congestion in the liver. And because the liver is responsible for over 500 functions, this can show up in arthritis. This can show up in fat on your body. This can show up in all kinds of different things. So I took a leap and I said, what harm can it do? I'm going to commit to doing these liver flushes. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. How do I do that? StreamYard is, okay, there you go. So I went ahead and I'm like, I read the book cover to cover. This is the book. I don't get a commission on it. I did not write it. It was written by Andreas Moritz. And I think some of the biggest significant changes that I've seen in my life since I started doing the liver flush. Okay, so one is that my thinking is clearer, which is really great, because this year, if you're like me, you're like stepping out and trying to move into a whole new realm of work and trying to, really take care of business. And so you need a clear mind. And this has really helped with that. Another thing is that I had gotten to the point where I couldn't eat eggs anymore, and I couldn't eat tomatoes anymore, which made me really sad. And I couldn't eat cheese or dairy. So like my coffee, I couldn't put half and half in it anymore. And this is going to be really embarrassing, but because it would cause gas. And I remember that for a family member, my grandma. And maybe you have a grandma like that too. That's actually a sign of liver congestion if you can't tolerate certain foods. So I'm not saying that this, like I said, this is controversial, but I'm just saying that I did my 7th flush this weekend and it was pretty amazing. And so if you're like, I'm sick of being sick and I want to know what's going on, just get this book. It's like less than $15 on Amazon. You can get it in the Kindle version and search by topic. It's written by Andreas Moritz, and I love Andreas for a lot of reasons. He's actually passed away, but he spent his life learning how to do the flush in a safe way, and you do need to follow this book. So here's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you have symptoms that you're like, I don't know what's going on, if it's brain fog, if it's arthritis, if it's dermatitis, if it's if your teeth are yucky, if your breath stinks, if you have gas, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have diverticulitis, if you have what else? Depression, if you have mental issues, all of that can be affected by what's in your liver, the liver congestion. So I've really taken this to heart, and I am in an ongoing process. So how do you do the liver flushes and how many times do you do them? Let me go to how many times you do them. So you do these every new moon or thereabouts until you don't have any stones coming out. So the first time I did the flush, I think I don't remember if it was the first or second time, I didn't have any stones come out, but I did it again. And then the next time I did. And so you want to do this repeatedly until you have 2 complete flushes with no stones coming out. And the reason why is because you're getting at the root cause of stuff. Now, I know a lot of you are really into nutrition and you're really into oils and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying stop doing that, but I'm saying until you look at the power of bile to enable you to digest and absorb the nutrients you put in your body, until you look at bile to discover the important role that it plays, and also that your bile is on a clock. So if you're eating late at night, that's not when bile production is up, that's when it's down. And so if you're going to gain weight. So there's so much I could talk about this. So, okay, I'm just going to keep talking. Why not? So, okay. So for example, I didn't know, like all the supermodels say, I don't eat after 6 o'clock. I remember growing up in the 90s and hearing that from like Heidi Klum and like, who else was big then? The girl who did Pepsi, what was her name? Oh gosh, just so embarrassing. I don't remember. And she had them all. Anyway, I remember Christy Turlington. I remember Kate Moss. But I can't remember the lady with them all. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about if you were alive in the 90s. So anyway, but they all said don't eat late at night. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to eat whenever I feel like it. But this book talks about that. It says that your bile production is highest middle of the day, which means that if you're going to have a big meal, it's going to be most advantageous to eat it in the middle of the day because that's when bile production is highest. And oh, by the way, remember that, I'm going to show you the liver bile ducts again. Wait, I got to do share screen. Share the screen. Share the screen. There we go. I love the liver. I do. I love it so much. I thought about getting like a pillow made where you can unzip it and like have all the bile ducts inside with little tiny, you could do little gallstones and liver stones. You could do big gallstones and liver stones. It gets really fun, right? But the point is you want a liver that is healthy and functioning. And the way that you know if it's functioning is that you've done all these cleanses and you get to the point where you do 2 complete cleanses and nothing else comes out. And that's such a happy thing. So the liver is responsible for all kinds of weird or the blockage of the liver, the congestion of the liver is responsible for all kinds of weird things that happen in the gallbladder and in the pancreas. And I am not a doctor, and this is controversial. I'm just saying, look at this book. Read it for yourself. Give it a try. Follow the directions in this book. This is, and if you have questions, let me know. But just in the category of health, I just wanted to touch on this. So let me see if any of you have questions, because that can be a really wonderful thing to do, is just to see who is asking questions. So let's see. Okay. Let me see, just a second. So if you're joining me right now, this is my every Tuesday and Thursday morning show at 9 a.m. Eastern. I love talking about health, wealth, faith, and love. And in this particular one, it's all about the liver. So if you've sent me some questions, nobody's asking about this right now, but I just want to encourage you that if you've been told that you have arthritis and you need to go on medication, I'm not saying stop taking your medication. I'm saying take responsibility, really learn the functions of the liver, because maybe it's connected. And I love that we can do things to change our health. We can do things to change our health, and it changes our lives. It changes our lives. Now, if you don't follow all the directions in this book, then you get what you get. Like, some people will skip some steps in the prep for the liver flush. And if you do that, it's really bad. Like, don't skip steps. There's a huge section in here of how to do this. So maybe you're wondering, what is the liver flush? So what it is a schedule of things that you take and don't take, a schedule of things that you take and don't take until you have 2 complete flushes that no longer result in stones. So the things that you take are 6 days of 32 ounces of apple juice a day. Now, if you're diabetic, you're not supposed to do that, right? There's a whole section in this book about using malic acid instead. And actually, this last flush, I did malic acid and I got great results. So it works. You don't have to do apple juice. That's just the first recommendation. There are actually 4 different alternatives to apple juice. So if you're intolerant of apple juice for any reason, or 32 ounces of apple juice just sounds like impossible, there are other options. But the 6 days leading up to the flush, you do 32 ounces of apple juice, or one of the 4 alternatives, all highlighted in this book. And then from there, you do, on the day of the flush, you want to pick a day that is not the full moon. That day is harder for your body to release stones. So don't do it on the full moon, but you could do it on the new moon is ideal, or some other time in between. And you want to kind of take it easy that day. You don't want to be too stressed out or emotional. You want to think of this as like outpatient surgery. So just give yourself some time. Only have people and events around you that are like relaxing and that just like restore you, make you feel good, make you feel calm. And by doing that, you're setting yourself up well for this release. So on the day of the flush at about 12:30, 1:30, you stop eating for the day. You want to only eat like light foods that day. Andreas recommends doing like steamed vegetables and basmati rice, but in moderation. And then you're going to fast from about 12:30 or 1:30 at the latest until 6 p.m. And at 6 p.m. you'll take some Epsom salts and water. And I'm not telling you all the exact directions because I want you to read the book for yourself. There are so many details in here that if you overlook them, they will have consequences. So I'm not telling you everything, but I'm giving you enough to like, for you to be able to, I want to inspire you to be able to say, okay, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to give that some thought. I'm going to think about that. And I'm not an affiliate for this book. Like I don't get anything for sharing this with you, but it is my commitment as a human being and as a speaker that I'm always going to bring you the best resources and share with you from my life what's working. So this is in the category of health. I love talking health, wealth, faith, and love every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. My name is Katie Smith, and I would love for you to share this video. That would help me out tremendously because I don't get a commission from recommending this book. But in this book, so on the day of the flush, in case you're taking notes, so you're going to eat either like rice, steamed vegetables in the morning, fast from no later than 1:30 on, and you could drink water. But then at 6, you're going to do an Epsom salts and water. At 8, you're going to do Epsom salts and water. And then at 10, you're going to do olive oil and grapefruit juice. Shake it up real good and be ready for bed. Now, some of us love to work past 10. And I'm telling you, it is not in your body's best interest for you to be awake with the lights on after 10 o'clock. I didn't want to believe it, but it's true. It's so funny because I got in this practice of listening to this book and going to bed at 10, and then I started staying up late again, and my stomach was like, why are you awake? Why are you awake? So there are certain chemicals in the brain that can only be released if you are asleep at certain times of the night. Go figure. And imagine that our bodies are on a clock. And so when you take the grapefruit juice and olive oil, it actually causes a reaction in your body during the night that allows you to release stones and stagnant bile. There are all kinds of different stones. This book talks about a lot of them. I've become not obsessed, but I really enjoy doing something and seeing a result. Do something, see a result. I hate just like, well, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. So when you do the liver flush, it's so much fun for me because I'm like, something happened. I'm doing something. I'm taking ownership of my health and it's making a difference. And I just love it. So, grapefruit juice and olive oil at 10. You're going to want to lay flat in a dark room. You can set the timer on your phone, but turn your phone to airplane mode and let your family and your friends know you're not going to be taking texts. You're not going to be taking calls. They need to be praying for you. If you're a praying person, you just need peace and quiet while you're doing this flush. Then at 6 a.m., you're going to get up again and do the same Epsom salts and water. 8 a.m., Epsom salts and water. You're also going to want to do some other fun stuff to clean out your bowels. And this book talks about all the ways to clean out your bowels so that none of the stones get trapped. You do not want the stones to get trapped in your bowels after the release because they are extremely toxic. And so this book talks about how to get rid of all of those stones. And you need to. It's very, very, very important. Are you listening? It's very important that you do not let the stones, after they're released, just kind of sit in your bowels. So you do need this book. You need to read it for yourself. You need to study the liver. You fall in love with the fact that you are designed to work a certain way. And that when you go figure, when you go to bed, when the sun goes down, when it's dark outside, and you wake up when the sun is up, you function better. Who knew? I mean, it's so obvious, right? But now we have science to back it all up, which is wonderful. So what can you expect after a flush? You can expect emotions. You can expect energy. Some people, sometimes, I've done 7 liver flushes, cleanses for the sake of this title, 7 liver cleanses. And some days after the cleanse, I'm like, yeah, I feel great. Other days I'm like, I'm not playing. So it just depends. Like Sunday, 2 days ago, that was the morning of my flush. And I was just like, Nope, I'm good. I'm good. I need to just be at home today. I just need to be at home. This is where I need to be. And I ended up having two really important conversations that were not fun per se, but they were necessary and they grew me. And I'm like, I wonder, because as you release these stones, you're also releasing emotions. You're also releasing, it's funny that your emotions are actually tied to chemicals, like literal chemicals in your brain and in your gut. And so if you've ever like been in an argument with somebody, right, at the dinner table, and you're like, oh gosh, I can't even eat anymore. It's because all of your brain and your gut are all connected. And when your body is registering a problem, it shuts down some of those basic functions. And if you live in a state of stress, which we all do to varying degrees, then it inhibits your ability to produce bile. It causes stones. It causes all these problems in the gut. So this is really, really important for your ongoing health and wellness. And I will keep you up to date. This is flush number 7, was January 24th, 2021. So I haven't planned it on the calendar yet, but about 3 weeks from now, I'll restart the malic acid and apple juice that I'm going to be taking. There are 4 different ways to prepare for your flush. You do not have to use apple juice. You can use cranberry juice. You can use apple cider vinegar. It's all in this book by Andreas Moritz. He has tons of YouTube videos. We call him Dr. Big Lips because I call him Dr. Big Lips, which might be a little disrespectful, but I mean it in an endearing way. He's just got these big lips. So anyway, so Dr. Big Lips, the liver cleanse, the liver and gallbladder miracle cleanse. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me. I'm going to check one last time here just to see what's happening on the live. Yep, I'm not seeing any questions, but I do want you to remember one thing, and that is be kind to your liver. Love your liver. It's responsible for over 500 functions in the body. Go to Wikipedia to verify and order this book, The Liver and Gallbladder Miracle Cleanse from Andreas Moritz. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to help you with that. See you in a few minutes, because every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m., I'm here to help you increase your health, wealth, love, and faith. See you in a minute. God bless you, and do share and let me know what you think of this video. Bye-bye.